Good morning. Welcome to Garden by the Yard. Thought I'd take you along. I am going to be tilling for the spring season and just wanted to show you what I do to prep my garden bed and the tools that I use. And hey, it's going to be 70 degrees today. I am excited. Let me get some footage of what I'm getting ready to do.
What a beautiful day it is. 70 degrees today, and I get to be in the garden and get to be running the tiller. Just wanted to take you through a quick tour of this and show you what I've gotten myself into. I took the fireplace ashes out and put them in the garden throughout the winter. This fence line right here is where I've been growing my tomato plants. You can see the landscape fabric that I've been using. Those holes I cut out are 24 inches on center. This coming archway I built out of a cattle panel, and I grow my cucumbers on this. Grow some squash over there in the corner. And this other fence row right here, I have another row of tomato plants. I usually plant about 150 tomato plants, several varieties. Let me get this tiller out. You know, we're going to go ahead and go inside for just a few minutes. I've got to plant some lavender plants. I will bring you along for the ride.
We are going to be using some Miracle-Gro moisture control potting mix. Normally when I'm planting seeds, I will use a seed starting mix because it's sterile and you do not get the mold and fungus growth on top of the soil, which can kill your plants. But this is all I've got available today, and I need to get these things started. Going to be planting some lavender seeds. Now there's a trick to this lavender. You've actually got to take the seeds, wrap them in a paper towel, moist paper towel, put them in a bag, and then you put them in the refrigerator for 30 days. Then you can plant them. I planted some about 2 years ago, and I had some real good success. We're going to see how this batch comes out. I'm going to take this bowl, and I'm going to put the potting mix into it, the Miracle-Gro potting mix into it, and then I'm going to add the water. So I've got my Miracle-Gro potting mix in here, and it is dry. Now, I have in the past taken the dry mix like this, and I put it in the 1020 trays and then tried to soak the water in, and it just makes a mess. It doesn't get the soil completely saturated. So I find if I take the soil and I add the water to it and then put it into the 1020 trays, I have much better results. Well, I now have the water added to the potting soil mix, and I usually try to let it set for about 5 minutes. A lot of these potting soils now, they come with the beads that will retain water, and I want to give it enough time to really soak up that water. You can tell it's not, I mean, you can squeeze a little bit of water out of it, but I try not to oversaturate it. I've got my 1020 trays right here. They come in 3 pieces, the clear, the actual cells themselves. Now, this right here, it has 72 individual cells, and this is what the greenhouses use. I used to just buy the cheap ones, the ones that once you used them one time, they would rip. I went ahead and bought the medium grade, not the best, but the medium grade, and I used these last year, and I'm going to be able to use them one more year again, so I didn't have to buy them again. Then you have the base. And let's get this going. What I try to do is just take the soil and put it right in the middle and then kind of work my way out. Once I have the soil in the cells and kind of leveled out on the top, I just take my 2 fingers and I press it down. I'm not trying to make a brick. I'm just wanting to compact it a little bit. And the reason for this is that you want the water that you're going to be putting on the bottom here at later times, you want it to be able to wick up. And if it's really loose, the water has a tendency not to come to the very top. But if you press it down just a little bit, not compact it too much, but press it down just a little bit, then you're going to get that wicking action. And this also allows you to put the seed in, and then once the seed is in, you can take more soil and kind of scrape it over the top. Well, here's the tricky part. The ideal situation is that you would like to have one plant coming right out of the middle of this cell. You know, I get it every once in a while, but normally I find if I scatter 2 or 3 seeds in each one of these cells, number one, it's insurance because I'm not going to have time again. It's going to take these plants. These are long to germinate. You know, it'll take them 10 to 14 days before I see any activity at all. And I really want to plant in each one of these cells. So I put 2 to 3 to 4 seeds in each one of the cells. And, you know, I'm not a professional greenhouse. They have seed trays where they can put the seed in there, shake it around, and one seed goes into each slot. I do not have that, so I use my hands, and I grab me a couple of seeds, and I try to get them somewhere around the middle. And I just continue that, and I try to keep track of where I've put seeds and where I haven't put seeds, which you wouldn't think would be an issue, but for me it is. I'm easily distracted. Let me get this going, and I'll be right back with you. I have now got all of the seeds in the individual cells. I'm just going to slightly cover them. I'm going to do it with some dry soil. I found if I use the wet soil, I will sometimes get too much soil on top of the seeds, and this lets me regulate what I'm putting over them. We just want a slight covering. The only thing we're wanting to do is to be able to keep that seed moist all the way around the seed. And this dry soil is going to soak up the water out of the cells that are already in there with the moist soil. So you don't have to worry about putting water on it or anything like that. It is going to wick up through the other soil. And the only thing I do is once I see that I got them covered, I just press it down just a little bit, and that will self-water. And then we are going to put the top on there. We're going to clean the edges up real quick and grab my top wherever I put that. There it is. Going to put the top on here, and then I'm going to take it over to my seed bed, and probably in about 12 to 14 days I should start seeing some sprouts.
A Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm 23, verses 1 through 6.